Being able to make cordage from natural materials might not seem like the most interesting topic, but in terms of primitive living, it's one of the most practical and useful skills that you can master, and so that's what we're going over today. Now there's all sorts of things that you can make natural cordage out of. Anything from, of course, flax, the inner bark of species like elm and basswood, dogbane. Here I've got a string that's made out of something called snake grass, which is actually an ornamental species that's escaped and grows wild in a lot of the tropical areas. And then of course you've got the sinew from animals, which makes a very good, very strong string. Today we're going to be using a plant called yucca. Now yucca is found everywhere from the southeastern United States all the way out to the western prairies and everywhere in between. It's a very interesting plant because not only are the fibers of the leaves useful for making cordage, but you can also make a primitive soap from it, and the flower stalks are very good for friction fire. So we're going to collect a handful of these leaves, and then we're going to use a process called retting to separate the fibers from the non-fibrous material. So we're going to take these leaves and bundle them up, and then we're going to submerge them in a pond for anywhere from 2 weeks to maybe a month, depending on just how this progresses. So what's going to happen is the non-fibrous material is going to rot, and then we should just be able to kind of wash that stuff out and be left with the fibers. And so every now and then we'll just pull the leaves out and just see how things are progressing. If it looks like there's some material still being stubborn and kind of hanging on, we'll just put it back down in there for a little while longer. Now eventually when you pull the leaves out, all the non-fibrous stuff just gets kind of goopy and will wash out. When the non-fibrous material is good and rotted down, you can help loosen a lot of that stuff just by kind of twisting and moving that around. And then also you can just kind of beat it on a rock or a log and then go back and kind of swish it around to get most of that material out. Now a word of warning here, the retting process does stink because you are literally rotting this material out, so be prepared for that. Some of you might be wondering if this retting process weakens this fibers. I haven't experienced any weakening of the fibers, but I've always been careful to remove the leaves from the water as soon as possible. If you left the leaves in the water for far too long, there may be some weakening of the fibers, but I couldn't say for sure because I haven't experienced that. Once it dries, a lot more of that just kind of fluff will come out, and you'll be left with these perfectly clean fibers. So we're going to be using the reverse twist method of cordage making. This is the way that 2-ply cordage has been made for thousands and thousands of years. So I'm going to start by separating some of these larger bundles into smaller, more manageable bundles that we can easily grab and add into our string as we move forward. I'm going to be making a bowstring here, and so I'm going to tie in a loop up at the top end of it. To start that loop, I'm just going to take two of these bundles and overlap them in opposite directions, and that's going to give us a little bit more bulk up in our loop to withstand some of that chafing that's going to go on there at the knock of the bow. So we'll start reverse twisting, and I'll twist up maybe 2 inches or so of material. So with the reverse twist method, I'm going to take the top bundle, pinch it in between my thumb and forefinger, and I'm going to roll it away from me, and I'm going to capture the bottom bundle between my forefinger and my middle finger, and I'm going to twist that back to me. Now the bottom bundle becomes the top, and I'm going to repeat that process. Thumb and forefinger, twist, you see I'm rolling it away, roll it over and capture this, and then twist that back to me. Reverse twist. Roll away, capture, twist back. Roll away, capture, twist back. Once I'm done with that reverse twist in that 2-inch knock loop section, I'm just going to take the bundles and kind of lay them on top of each other, and then I'll continue that reverse twist down into the main body of the string. So as you move your way down the string, it's going to help if you can keep the small section that you just previously did kind of tight. And I'll use my pinky to kind of hold that and hold tension on it as I'm working on the sections that are pinched between my fingers. Now the real art of cordage making is keeping a consistent string diameter for as long as you want to. Now of course with these short segments of yucca fibers, we're going to have to add materials in as we move down the string. So as you're working your way down these bundles, it's eventually just going to kind of taper out to nothing. And so as your bundles start to get smaller in diameter, you're going to have to add extra material in to kind of beef those up. Now the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to take an extra piece of material, I'm going to lay it in here so that I've got some extra laying over, and I'm going to take this top bundle, twist it over, and then I'm going to take this and lay it back down on that bottom bundle and continue on. Now I'm back to just my 2 bundles with extra material laid in there, and you can't even tell where it's laid in. So every time your bundle starts to get a little small, you just need to add a small extra piece in there, and in that way you can end up with a string of indefinite length. With that method, there's no tag ends to burn off, but it does take a little bit of practice to get those things to lay just perfect on the string. Once our string is as long as we need it, I'll just keep reverse twisting on out and just kind of let it taper out naturally before finishing off with a simple knot. To attach this string to the lower nock of our bow, I'm just going to use a timber hitch. Now this is going to allow us to adjust the length of the string so that we can get the brace height on our bow correct. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed that and learned some stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.